All right, everyone, we're back at it. Our final segment today for our special Big South Football Media Day. New Big South member Robert Morris, Coach Bernard Clark, linebacker Anela Buzzacco. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us so much. We're excited to have you in the conference as well as here today.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Well, what we're going to do, we'll let both of you kind of open up with a statement. Coach Clark, we'll start with you, and then we'll turn it over to Anela, and then we'll start taking questions for those who are on the line. You may go ahead and enter your name in our chat box to ask questions of our guests. And as those come in, Coach Clark, first off, welcome. Tell us how the preseason's going so far for you and the team.
Well, right now, things are going well. We're practicing well. Anelo just asked me, how do I think practice is going? I think practice is going good. It's just kind of weird. You know, in spring, you can make mistakes, correct mistakes, and not worry about them hurting you later on. Right now, we got to correct mistakes to get ready for a game. And so that's the biggest difference. Just getting prepared for games is a little strange, but as far as our guys being prepared, we're working hard, we're busting our butt, the effort's outstanding. It's just a matter of tuning things here and there.
And then from a student athlete perspective, Anela, I know you were talking with Coach Clark before we started, but just what does it mean to be finally back out playing and getting ready for a season?
It's for sure a blessing. I mean, we've been looking forward to a season. It was really defeating mentally that we didn't play in this past fall, and we got to watch some FBS teams play. But us coming out this spring and having the opportunity to play a few games is really exciting, and that's why we're here is to play and to get our education to play football. And so didn't want to lose out on a season. Really excited that we finally get the opportunity to play.
Once again, to ask questions of our two guests, please enter your name in the chat box and we'll get started with that. But first, Coach, walk us back to the summer with joining the Big South, how that all came about. And obviously now at the time the transition was going to be fall of 21, but now you're into the spring schedule with us in a couple of weeks. Just kind of reflect and tell us how that process came about in joining the Big South.
Well, the process was kind of new to me, to be totally honest with you. I knew that Chris King came in with some new ideas about, hey, you guys may change conferences, but at the time we had no idea what conference we were going to. So it's kind of new to me. So when we found out we're in the Big South, I was excited about it because a lot of the teams that are in the Big South, back when I coached at Liberty University back in 2000 to 2003, a lot of the teams, you know, Charleston Southern, Gardner Webb, all of those teams were in the Big South. So I'm kind of familiar with those guys. And not only that, as everyone on the team knows, I hate the cold. So it's lovely to go back down south in November and October because you get a little bit more sunshine. So it's one of those situations where right now it's chilly up here. It's cold up here. It's not chilly up here. It's cold up here. So to be able to go and play in Kennesaw State and to go and play down at Charleston Southern, it may be a little bit of relief for our guys. I mean, they'll be refreshed to run around in 40-degree temperatures or 50-degree temperatures as opposed to 19 and 20 what we have right now. So it's refreshing. We're excited about it because not that the NEC didn't have great teams. They did. You know, they had great teams like Duquesne and St. Francis and Charleston and Central Connecticut. I can go on and on about the teams that are in that conference. But the teams that we're in right now, we know Kennesaw State's going to be in the top 15. We know that Monmouth is going to be in the top 15. We know that Campbell's going. So we're playing against a little tougher competition. So it's a situation where we got to get our scholarship numbers up. And me and Chris have had this conversation about that. So we got to get that up. But we also understand that the guys that we've been recruiting, you know, like Anelio and like Buzz, I'm not trying to use the proper name, like Buzz, we're getting the right guys in here to help us play and perform at the level we need to perform at. And playing against teams like VMI and Eastern Kentucky and James Madison back in 2018, playing against those teams have prepared us for the teams we're going to face right now. So we're excited about
it. And Anelio, from your side, you know, what's the team saying about being in a new conference for football this year? Originally, you were going to be independent, but now you get to compete for a conference championship. And then second to that is how much background have you done on learning about the Big South teams?
I mean, as the team and the defense as a whole, I mean, we're all very excited to be participating in the Big South Conference. We're very excited we're coming in with a chip on our shoulders. Not a lot of teams know about us, but we're coming in, we're going to play physical football, and we're going to have a great time playing it. We know it's tougher competition. It's going to be better teams than we've played in the past. But I think the way we've been practicing and the way we had, or the way our season went last year, we're ready for a new challenge. We're ready to step up and play better teams and have a chance to make playoffs and go to the title.
Thank you. We're going to let some others ask questions now. First, starting with John McGonigal. John?
Yeah, Bernard, right around this time or even like in the last month, we've heard a lot of college basketball coaches say, hey, like, I don't know, I'm not sure about playing, hoops right now, given the circumstances still with the pandemic. How do you feel about, this spring season, just in general with you, your staff, your players?
Well, we're taking all precautions here at Robert Morris University. I mean, things are pretty tight around here. We have some guys in quarantine right now from contact tracing. So as far as those things go, we're okay with it. I think our university is doing everything they can to make sure our guys are safe and healthy and away from it. Obviously, you can't be as safe and as healthy. You're never going to be 100%, but they're doing the best they can to get it done. So I'm not really upset about it. I am excited for our seniors. I mean, we get our seniors an opportunity to play a season, because if they don't play this spring, they're not going to be able to play. We don't have the funds to bring back an entire senior class and to bring in new recruits. I mean, one or the other has to hurt. Unfortunately, one of them not going to happen. So we're excited about having our seniors to have an opportunity to play. So we're excited about that. Are we nervous? Yeah, because we're not sure. There's no way you can see the unseen. You're not sure what can happen. Are we nervous that we may take a bus ride all the way down to Charleston Southern and someone tests positive and we have to hop right back on that bus and come back? Yes, but that's part of it. We're not going to freak out about it. We know the situation. We know what can happen and what can't happen. But we're getting our young men prepared for a season to play 5 games, to play the best they can be, and, do what we can do.
Following up on that, just in the locker room, the players, how do you guys feel about the season going forward and the preparations and everything you guys have gone through so far?
We're for sure excited. I mean, we've been busting our butts this entire past fall semester and so far this spring. I mean, we've been excited. We know we're playing. Last semester, I would say there's kind of like the what if we're playing or not. But this season or this semester, we know for sure we're playing. So we're all dedicated. We're all giving 100% effort, focus, everything, and we're ready to play.
Anything further, John?
Oh, no, I'm good for now. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We're going to go to Alan Saunders, who has questions for both. Alan?
Coach, Monmouth made the same jump that you guys are making from the NEC to the Big South a few years ago. How much is that a program that you've kind of looked at as a blueprint for what you need to do here?
Well, it's kind of funny you say that, because before I came to Robert Morris University, I was at UAlbany. A lot of people know I coached at UAlbany, and we actually played Monmouth my last year there before I came here in 2017, before I came here in 2018. So those were one of the first teams I looked at and how they've made the jump and how they've been able to compete in this conference. So that's one of the first teams I go back and I watch their film. And we played them at UAlbany back in 2017 and look at some of the ins and outs and some of the pieces they had and some of the guys they put together. And it done kind of a blueprint of what they've done as far as some of the athletes they've brought in. We've recruited longer defensive linemen, longer arms, may not have as much weight, but they're longer defensive linemen. We recruited guys like Buzz early on, who came in on a partial scholarship, who's now on a full, because he's exceeded the expectations we had for him. So those are the kind of guys that we're looking for. So looking at Monmouth did a lot of those things. If you look at that quarterback from 2017, he was real raw back then, but that guy became extremely good. Just like the running back they had back then, who's now on some roster somewhere in the NFL. Those are the things we're looking for. So I took a real blueprint from them, because I saw the things they did in the NEC, and when they got to the Big South, how they were able to come in and put themselves in the right position just because of the guys they recruited. We're just trying to do the same things that they did.
Given that, it's a primarily Southern League and the two of you are kind of up north here, do you expect that to become, I don't know, or maybe hope it to become some kind of rivalry or something like that, like it was in the NEC days for those teams?
Absolutely. There's no doubt, because we're up in the north. I hope we do become a rival. But the one rival I don't want to lose, and I know Chris would agree with me when I say this, I still want to play Duquesne. I think it's a huge rivalry for us. I still want to play Duquesne. I still want them to be a big part of the crosstown rivalry that we have. I mean, to me, to go away from playing Duquesne as a rival, it's kind of like when Pitt went away from playing West Virginia. Not at that level, but that's what I'm talking about. When you talk about that backyard brawl between Pitt and West Virginia, it was huge. So to lose that rivalry with Duquesne is something I don't want to lose. But do I want to gain a rivalry with Monmouth in this conference? Absolutely.
And then I guess for Anello, you guys have I mean, not to say that you don't have some Florida players, because you do, and some good ones, but you look down the roster, it's a lot of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, New Jersey. There's a, there's a thing about, people will say like, you got to go south, all the talents in Florida. Is there some mindset from the guys on the team that's like, okay, we're going to get our opportunity to prove ourselves against a lot of these guys from those, I guess, perceived to be more talent rich areas?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm from Ohio, and I always considered Ohio being one of the best football states in the nation. So, absolutely, I think this is an opportunity for us to go down south and prove that we are better football players. We're hard nosed. We hit harder. We play harder. We give our 100% effort every play. And so I'm very looking forward to going down to the south and proving ourselves to all these southern schools that up north that we play football just as hard.
Yeah,
I'm gonna answer that question for you too, Alan. All right, you don't hit harder than me, Buzz. I'm from Florida, so we're gonna get rid of that. But the great thing about what Buzz is saying, he's exactly right. We're not gonna change our demographics of who we recruit. Our recruiting area is still gonna be mainly Pennsylvania, it's gonna mainly be Ohio, and it's gonna be Maryland. We're gonna go down. We're always dabbing to Florida, but we're not gonna change what we do because we feel like, just like Buzz said, these guys are tough and hard nosed up here, just like those guys down there. And we want to make sure guys understand that we got some good football players. But again, Buzz does not hit harder than me, so we're not even going to discuss who hits harder, Florida players or Ohio players. So,
Plus, you guys have you go on the road, and you have Monmouth, who's obviously another northern team. But given the spring schedule, especially, maybe some snow games or something. I'm sure that's not the run of the course for most Southern football teams. How fun would that be for you?
I tell you what, if we can get a team like Gardner Webb up here and we have a snowstorm, all we're going to do is clear the hash marks. We're not clearing the field. We just go clear the hash marks. We go see who can play in that snow. So there's no doubt we're going to try to use it to our advantage. We're going to keep heaters on our sideline and not give them heaters. We're going to do everything we can to take full advantage of this weather.
Buzz, you play a lot of snow games in Ohio?
I mean, I played maybe 2 in high school, but other than that, I mean, besides spring ball, this is probably going to be my only season actually playing in snow.
What's practice been like? Given, I mean, it's like 20 degrees outside right now. I don't even know how you attempt that.
Buzz, I'm gonna let you answer that because I'm from Florida, so we know what practice is like for me. So go ahead, Buzz.
I don't think practice is that bad. I mean, I'm used to playing in cold weather, and I actually prefer colder weather more than hot weather because I feel less fatigued because of the heat and everything. So I enjoy it. I get heated up very fast, and I still feel like I play normal. I don't get that cold. So actually, I enjoy playing in the cold more than the heat.
Alan, to be honest with you, I've thought about putting on the pads just so I won't be as cold. Maybe if I go out there and hit somebody, maybe I'll warm up a little bit because to me it's been cold outside. But Buzz is right. To be totally honest with you, once you get out there and things start flowing, it really hasn't been that bad. We've had like one extremely cold day where we had to cut practice to like 50 minutes, where we had to cut practice. But as of lately, it's been fine. You know, the thing about Pittsburgh, it's not so much the cold, it's the no sunshine. That's the problem. When we have sunshine on the field, everybody's excited. You know, hey, God decided to put a little ray of sunshine on us today. So it's one of those situations, but it really hasn't been that bad. This is coming from a Florida guy. It hasn't been as bad as it could be.
Bernard, that last thing for you, you're sharing your facility with the lacrosse team right now, and you're usually, an opposite seasons. Now you're in the same season. What's that been like? And then, of course, the pandemic, which is the reason for that, but also, you're trying not to share spaces and equipment and things like that with other teams.
Well, again, our university has done a great job. We've spaced out time on the field. And as we're going onto the field, the lacrosse team is going to the other end of the field and going away from us. So we never cross paths with them. So we want to make sure our university is doing an outstanding job of that. And the positive thing about it, Alan, over the past 2 years, we don't have the funding for summer school as a university. So over the past 2 years, we started spring practice in February. Started the week after signing day. The 2 weeks after signing day. So signing day was last Wednesday. So the coaches would have this week off, and then next week we'd start spring practice. And the reason because we don't have the funding for summer school. And now what it does is it gives our guys an opportunity to get prepared for school because we finished at the end of March. So they got April and they got May to do their studies. And now we got them with the strength and conditioning coach for the last 2 months before they go home to get ready for the season and know what they need to prepare for. So we've been practicing in this kind of weather. So we've kind of been used to that over the past years. Just haven't had a game over the past couple of days. Last couple of years.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
you.
Alan. We're gonna go back to John McGonigal. John?
Hey, Bernard, something I meant to follow up on earlier and forgot. With look, you guys playing 5 regular season games here in the spring. Do you, as a coach, do you have any worry that your guys might get fatigued or tired out ahead of a fall season? Or you figure, hey, these guys are normally practicing in the spring anyway. It's not that big of a deal.
John, I do, to be totally honest with you. And it's not just about the practice, it's about the fact we're having 2 seasons in 1 calendar year. And if we're able enough to make it to the playoffs, we may not finish until late April. So I do feel that way. But again, it all depends on how our guys are going to feel. We're going to give them adequate time off, though. I mean, once this season is over, our guys aren't coming back up here to the latter part of July or the early part of July. They're going to have at least a month and a half off. I think the championship game is May 12th. But they'll have at least a month and a half off. I want to make sure our guys get adequate rest and get away from football. Obviously, when I say get away from football, I mean go home and jog, stay in shape, lift a couple of weights, but not the pounding that we do on a regular basis when they get back in the summer. So, yeah, I do worry about things like that. So we're not hitting as much this spring that we normally would during a training camp. Right now, during a training camp, you're trying to scrimmage as much as you can to see where you sit. Well, right now, we're not doing that. One, our guys have class. We don't have as much time as we have during training camp. So we're doing everything we can to limit the amount of hits we have. But football is a contact sport. We've got to make sure our guys are contacting each other. But yes, I do worry about that.
And you mentioned earlier with the seniors, this is going to be their last chance here this spring. They won't be back in the fall, at least with the scholarship situations and stuff.
Yes, that's the biggest thing, the scholarship situations, because if we can bring them all back with scholarship, we bring them all back, trust me, because it gives us an opportunity to have that veteran edge in the fall, which is something that we're looking to have. But no, we can't bring them back right now. This is their last season, and they're excited about it. So we definitely want to play these 5 games for our seniors.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, John. We're now going to turn to Chris Shovlin. Chris.
Hey guys, thanks. Coach Clark, good to see you. Just a question regarding the freshmen that you had coming in for what was supposed to be last season. How have you kept them engaged, and has there been an advantage to having them in for a longer period of time, even with COVID-19?
To be honest with you, Chris, I don't know if there's an advantage or a disadvantage. It's been weird for our freshmen that we brought in, because as a freshman class coming in here, they got to stay in their rooms. They can't really leave their rooms. They can't have a college life. So it's been a different atmosphere. All their classes have been online. Everything's Zoom this, Zoom that. So it's been tough for those guys. But what they have done a great job of, and I'll be honest with you, our guys have stayed engaged when it comes to football. We've stayed on top of them when it comes to grades. I mean, the great thing about this past fall, again, we finished with a 3.0 GPA, as an overall team grade point average. So we did a good job there in the classroom. So our freshmen, it's tough for them, and we talk to them constantly. We're constantly meeting with them and talking with them and just making sure their minds are where they need to be at. But it's been a tough situation for them. It's been tough for us as coaches, because when you're constantly, you're not talking to guys as much because they have a social life. What kind of their social life right now is us. Their social life is the football team. It's their teammates. So we put a lot on our older guys like Buzz to make sure that our younger guys feel a lot more comfortable with what's going on, because it's been a tough situation.
Chris, anything else?
I think he froze. I think Chris froze, Mark.
Yeah, Chris, I will come back to you in just a second. Coach, I'm going to jump in here with a few. First, what can Big South football fans learn and expect to see from Robert Morris? What type of style play do you have?
I think Buzz hit it on hit everything on their head. We're a hard-nosed team. We play hard. We're going to compete. The thing that's most important to us as coaches, we want to go out each week and compete. We want to compete to win each game. We don't want to go into a game and feel like we didn't compete to win that football game. We want to make sure guys are smart. We got smart football players, and those are the guys that we're looking for. We're looking for guys that play hard-nosed, that are going to compete and go play assignment-ready football. And that's what the team can expect from us. Do we have a lot of speed? We have enough speed to win football games. That's how I feel about certain things. We have guys that get after it. We have guys that take proper angles. Everybody knows football is a game of angles. We have guys that are going to do their assignment. And those are things they can expect from us. A disciplined football team that works hard and plays hard.
And this will be a question for both of you. I know I'll let you answer from a defensive side, Coach from offense. Just who are some of the names that we will look to see and hear about on a weekly basis during the spring season? First on the defensive side.
I mean, for sure, we're gonna have. We don't have any, in my opinion. I don't think we have any standout guys. We all work together as a unit. So as long as we're all doing our jobs, but we have a great defensive line. All of our defensive line are at least have experience playing from past seasons. So we have a fantastic defensive line ahead of us that's gonna make plays and get blockers off us. Our linebacker core is strong. We have a few new defensive backs that are kind of rotating right now, but we got returners like Taven in and Jay White, and they're playmakers. And so I think it's not really about who is going to stand out. I think as long as we all stand out, we all play together, and then we're going to be successful.
And Coach, how about on offense? Who are
offensive wise? Yeah, I think offensive wise, the main guy is going to be George Martin. I mean, George is the guy that we're looking to lead our offense. He's our quarterback. I think he's going to do a good job. He's played over the last couple of years. I think he's gotten better with his reads. He's gotten better with his throws. He's gotten smarter as a football player. He's a 3.5 GPA. So George is going to do an outstanding job. And some of the guys also, A.J. Jackson, Elijah Jackson. I think Elijah, our running back, is going to do good. But also, we got a couple of transfers we're expecting big things out of. And our offensive line, we got 3 seams on our offensive line, Eric McAllister, Trevor Hicks, and Romelli Buzzy. Those are guys that we're looking to make some things do well. Our O-line is going to be real strong. We got a transfer tight end from Bucknell by the name of Marcus. And Marcus, we think, I don't want to mess up Marcus's last name, and I tell him I apologize for that. But it's kind of tough to say it. I don't want to try to say it. I already messed up Bazzacco early on in life, so I don't want to do that again. So Marcus is an outstanding player. And we also got some receivers that we're feeling real good about, with Davon Robinson and DeAndre Hicks and Garrett Hauser. I can go on and on and on. We got some good guys, Jerry Hanks, Eric Sherko. We got some guys that we're expecting big things from on offense, but probably the main 2 guys that we're looking to have a great year are George and AJ. Those are 2 guys that we're really looking to not only have a great year, but also lead our offense.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Chris, we wanted to make sure you have a chance to ask any follow-up as we start to wrap up.
Yeah, hopefully, Mark, I'm still here. Coach, I just wanted to ask you secondarily about preparing for a brand new conference, a whole new league. These are teams you've never seen before. As far as being the head coach at Robert Morris, and how tough a job it is for you and your staff to get ready for this.
It is a tough task. The biggest thing that we've noticed is the speed of each team that we've watched. Fortunately, we've had an opportunity to get filming on all these guys because most of these guys played on ESPN3, and so we've been able to watch film on. This is team speed. I mean, that's going to be the biggest difference. I mean, again, like I said, I'm not knocking the NEC at all, but these guys are a little faster at the running back position, a little faster at the wide receiver position, a little bigger at the defensive line position, a little faster at the defensive line position, linebacker position. So it's the team overall speed that's going to stand out to us. But that's where our discipline has to come in. That's where our competitiveness, our hard hitting that Buzz talked about, those where our things have to come in. We have to separate ourselves in those situations by doing the right things when you're going against that kind of speed. So the toughest thing is probably going to be the team speed and seeing the speed go up a level as opposed to what it was in the NEC. Again, I'm not knocking the NEC. I'm just talking about what we've seen on film and how things look on film.
I just want to say finally, too, I don't want to get into this north-south thing or Ohio versus Florida, but I've seen Buzz hit in person. I've seen you hit on tape. I'm going to call it a draw.
Okay. All right, we'll do that. I'll take a draw. At 54 years old, I'll take a draw.
Thank you, Chris. That pretty much wraps up our time with Robert Morris. We're not seeing any more questions. Coach, as we wrap up, anything else you'd like to add before we close it out?
No, Mark, we're just excited about the season. We're excited we get an opportunity for our seniors to play. I'm excited for these guys to get an opportunity to play a season. And we just want, again, like I said, we want to go in and compete. We want to play hard. We want to show everybody how disciplined of a football team we are and how we compete. And that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking to compete and play hard.
Well, we really appreciate you all joining us today. We're excited to have you as part of the Big South. We wish you the best of luck this season. and stay safe and healthy. And we'll look forward to seeing you in person real soon.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. And now we'll wrap up our session today for our special Big South Football Media Day. My special thanks and gratitude to our coaches and players, as well as the media, for joining us today. Recordings of these calls will be available soon, and we'll make sure you have those if you'd like to send a request to us. Again, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to a great year. Have a great rest of the day.